Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Sure is a pleasure to see you. Hope you're all doing well. We're going to be touching on the rest of these matches over at the Indian Wells for today. Got another four of the best, shouldn't take too long. Before we get into them, like the video for me if you would. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. I'd appreciate it if you did. Very close to 700 now folks, very close. We continue to grow. I'm very happy with that. If you want to support the channel, links in the description and the pinned comment, along with the pics and the timestamps. So now that's out the way, we'll talk about today's games, or before we talk about today's games, we will quickly talk about yesterday's matches. Did we watch any? I managed to catch the first two. It started raining through Artifice and Marcus Grant, so I ended up just going to bed, especially after that Champions League anyway. More importantly, did anyone watch Holger Rune and Stefanos Tsitsipas? What a game. I'll start by saying that. What a game. I was a bit devastated that Tsitsipas lost. I'm not going to lie, I would have liked him to win. I can't really fault him, and I don't think you can too. Let's not forget, this guy's hit the last 7 in a row. For those that have been taking him anyway, he's been sublime. Can't really say much about the loss. I can talk about the win though. I thought Holger Rune was fantastic. I've seen something in Holger Rune in that match that I don't think I've ever seen before, or at least I haven't seen in a good long while. It was close, I'd love to say Tsitsipas played shit, but he didn't. First set was really good. Tsitsipas lost his serve. He got it right back and then gave it right back, and then there goes the set. And that second set, I can't lie, it started to unravel just a little bit. You get broke from 40-15. That's not good. You've then got break points at 15-40, and for those that watched it, you may not have even watched the match, but I imagine you would have seen the shot. You know what happens next. Holger Rune just pulls off the most ridiculous shot from in between his legs. It's curtains. That's how you know it was never meant to be. Unlucky for Tsitsipas, great stuff for Holger Rune. You can't take anything away from the lad. Safe to say, if he's going to play anything like that, if this is what we can expect from Holger Rune over the spring and the summer, I'd watch out. I'd be very careful for him, because he looked on fire. That's enough of that innit. We'll talk about these. Did we get any winners? Did we lose? Did we come close? Let me know. Get involved. Share your thoughts, don't be shy. That's enough of that innit. We'll get cracking with these. So first off today, we've got Ben Shelton. Head to head, 3-0 to Ben Shelton. We should be quite familiar with this one. Although Ben Shelton dominates that head to head, and you'd look at the results and go, wow, Benak's never won a set. He's never won a set. Although the head to head is quite one sided, these games are anything but that. Anything but the sort. Straight sets, Australian Open this year, we remember that, very close one. Washington last year, straight sets as well, and then Houston on the clay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 7 sets that Ben Shelton has won in the 3 games that he's played. 4 of them have been tiebreakers. No surprise there. Benak, although he struggled to get the win, evidently, he hasn't really struggled in the game, Steve. When you talk about fine margins, this is one of them. The finest of margins, and I would imagine it would probably be more of the same in this one. Hands up, who's been impressed with Benak the past couple of weeks? I mean, he's been decent, hasn't he? You can't say he hasn't. He started off quite shit. Let's be honest, he had a bit of a shit start. Ever since, it seems like Dallas, pretty much ever since Dallas, he's got some decent win, beat Valia Pelka, Benjamin Bonzi, Holger Rune, he got the walkover basically against Holger Rune, David Goffin, beat Dinky, beat Arnaldi. He got beat by Thomas Mahatch, but like I said in that one, I thought he played really well. That level of Benak beats a lot, it does, he beats a lot of people if he plays like that. A lot of people wrote him off against Matteo Arnaldi as well, and he made him look like shit, which, it's a bit sad, innit? you see a result like that, 6-2, 6-4, and I can't believe Arnaldi beat that version. Well, beat the Andrei Rublev that I thought we had. That's neither here nor there. Ben Shelton, he's looked a lot better in his last two games. Well, he's looked a lot better over at the Indian Wells. He was fairly decent against Navone, and he was just as good, if not better, against Kachanov. I mean, he couldn't have played any worse than what he did against David Goffin in Mexico. Seriously. Navone, it's like, I'm not buying it, because Navone just destroyed Lerner Tien, and then Shelton just done what Lerner Tien probably should have done. And then Kachanov, even though the odds were very close, it was basically split down the middle. In hindsight, I'm like, oh, you know what, I mean, Kachanov's won 4-6 on the year, and even before that match, we've been saying all season he's bang out of form. So a straight set win in your home country against someone like that, it doesn't really surprise me that much. I don't think I've seen enough from Ben Shelton, although he is probably just a better player. Maybe not by a lot. He probably is just a little bit better than Binach. He's 1 year younger than him. Is history just going to repeat itself? Is this just one of them cases where it's like, look, no matter what you do, you're just not going to beat him? I'm not so sure. What are the odds on this? What are we saying? 1.5? 1.6? I don't know. It's a decent favourite. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Considering the head-to-heads 3-0, that's not bad odds whatsoever. I don't know, is it just me? Has Binach been playing a little bit better than what maybe we've expected him to, or maybe what we're giving him credit for? I think so. I'd probably say so. This is far from a given. That Ben Shelton will make this 4-0. I don't think it's as cut and dry as he just goes out there straight sets again, even though he's done it every other time. But he can be explosive. He's got a very good save. Got to admit, he's probably got a bit more variety, a few more tricks in the bag than Binach. You probably could trust him, I wouldn't mind. If he's going to play, if he's going to play the way I know he can play, I think he gets past Nakashima. I just don't fancy taking it. If you can get it at 1.6, maybe a bit more, I couldn't talk you off taking that, but do you fancy putting that on your parlay and having to sit there and watch one, maybe two, possibly even three tiebreakers? I don't know. You wouldn't put it past this lad. I'd love to take Ben Shelton there. I would. I think he wins. I think Ben Shelton gets this one done. How he goes about it, I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. I imagine Binach will not make it easy for him. I don't know, Nakashima's been good. 6-2, 6-4 against Arnaldi, and then what did he do to Dinky? 7-5, 6-1. I don't know, it's a tough one to call. It's tough. I wouldn't be so sure that Shelton gets this one done. But if I had to take him, I probably would. I don't know if the odds will be good enough for a set. 1.2 maybe for a little parlay booster. I don't know about that. I probably would go with Ben Shelton. Well, we've only got 4 games here. I feel like if you go with Shelton here and he just gets beat, I can't see him getting beaten straight sets. History would tell you that that's probably not going to happen. Highly unlikely. I don't know. We'll see. Might circle back to that one. I don't know. I think there's more to that than meets the eye. I really do. It's a home tournament for the pair of them, isn't it? Is one of them going to have a lot more applause than the other? Probably not. I wouldn't have thought so. It's just going to be a really good match. Oh, fucking hell. Who's going to win this? Am I going to trust Ben Shelton to beat Brandon Nakashima when I've been saying to myself for weeks, I've been really impressed with Binach. Haven't been that impressed with Ben Shelton all season. Had a decent Australian Open, I'll give him that, but apart from that, he's been rather below par ever since. Vukic, Kaboli, Navone, Kachanov, all of these are there for the taking. I think Benak's playing probably a little bit more of a solid game than every one of them at the moment, so I don't know. Probably an overspot. But it's probably a high total too. I'd just go with Ben Shelton on that. It took too much time, so we'll move on. We'll go with Francisco Cerundolo, Alex de Minaur. This should be a lot quicker. They played each other this year in the Australian Open. De Minaur 3-1, dropped the first set 7-5, won a tiebreaker in the second 6-3, 6-3. Happy days. Soldier Cerundolo would beat Bottas van der Sandschulp, didn't I? He just knew that was going to happen. He beat Mackenzie McDonald just about in his first game. And then obviously the game against Bottas last time out, de Minaur looked great against Hubie, didn't he? We just knew that was going to happen. It was only a matter of time. He made Hubie look like a statue, didn't he? Like he was just stuck in the mud. Absolute domination, pure domination there, and he looked just as good against David Goffin as well. And I'd be willing to bet that he's going to look just as good, if not better, than this one. I do. Like I always say, Francisco Cerundolo, probably one of the more underrated players on the tour, especially when it comes to hardcore tennis. But there is just sheer levels to this. There's sheer levels. He is 25th in the world. That's very, very impressive, considering he gets the majority of his business done on the clay. Alex de Minaur is just a different beast though, isn't he? A completely different beast. I don't think Cerundolo gets past him at the Indian Wells. I really don't. I don't even think Cerundolo takes a set. He can hit hard. He's a heavy hitter. We know that he's got a solid baseline game. I don't think he doesn't serve harder. He doesn't probably hit harder than Hubert Hurkacz either. I don't know, maybe he does now. Definitely not the serve. Definitely moves better than Hubie. Why am I comparing him with Hubie? I don't think it makes a difference. I think de Minaur is just going to be too much for him. I do. Might be a little bit closer than what the odds are suggesting, but I've got de Minaur here at 1.3. That, in my opinion, is as good as it's going to get as far as a parlay piece. I really do. I'll be going with de Minaur on that. I don't think there's much more to talk about. Well. Comes to this, doesn't it? Got Jack Draper, Taylor Fritz. What are we to do in this one? We've got the battle of the bros, haven't we? What are we going to do here? Whose side are you on here, folks? This is what it comes down to, innit? You need to pick a side here. I'm not so certain who wins this one. I'm really not. I've got Jack Draper at 1.79. Call that 1.8 on the Betfair exchange. That is sweet as a nut, providing you were going to take it. Did anyone watch Taylor Fritz against Tabilo? Before you answer that, the head-to-head is 2 apiece. Jack Draper did beat him last time out in Paris. Tiebreaker in the first. Dropped the second set 6-4 and then won the 6-4 in the third. And then Taylor Fritz beat him pretty much the same way, tiebreaker 6-3, 6-2, whatever. Out in the Olympics. Taylor Fritz beat him twice last year, both on the clay, both 2-1, very, very close games. He was a tiebreaker in both of them, yeah. And then the first time he played was in Queens, over here. Jolly old England on the grass. Jack Draper won that one in straight sets, as I would imagine he would do now. Fritz looked ropey against Tabilo, especially in that first set. It was inevitable that he was going to come back and win that game. And he looked really good in doing so, but he struggled with Tabilo, struggled that much. He dropped the first set, he double faulted his way into that second set, basically. I've seen better days, excuse me. I've seen better days from Taylor Fritz. Even the game against Matteo Gigante was a little bit closer than I probably thought it would have been, 6-3, 7-5. I don't know. Did Gigante play a lot better than I thought, or if I didn't know any better, I'd say Taylor Fritz seems to be struggling just a little bit. Didn't he? What happened to him? He said abdominal injury. That was it. Abdominal injury. We didn't see him in Mexico, so maybe that was the little layoff he needed to nurse himself back to fitness. But through Dallas and through Delray Beach, not even that. Like at the end of the Australian Open, he got hammered by Monfils, beat out of Rinderknech, got beat by El Chapo in Dallas. Ended up coming back and beating Boo, and then he got walloped by Davidovich Fekina in Delray Beach. That's why I said he was definitely he was dealing with that. We haven't seen him in Mexico, but now he's back to business here. And although he's winning games and he looks relatively fit, I'd say this looks far from 100% Taylor Fritz. I'll just say that now. Alright, he come back and absolutely annihilated Tabilo, but it was always going to happen. It was always going to happen. Tabilo was always going to run out of steam there. But for the most part, if you just go off that first set, I really liked what I seen with Tabilo. He looked good. He just dealt with him. He dealt with him really good. If he'd have done the same in the second, he probably would have won it, believe it or not. I think Jack Draper should have been playing better than him though. I do. I'm not just being biased, like saying for what it is. 10-4 for Taylor Fritz this year, 9-2. Only just slightly, fairly similar records. We know what we're going to get from the pair of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins, 3 losses in the last 10 for Taylor Fritz, and then 8-2 for Jack Draper, although one of them he had to pull out. It was that walkover against Alcaraz, and then he got beat by Rublev in the final, but apart from that he's beat everyone. And it doesn't matter how, some of them have been really easy, some of them have been very tough battles, but this lad just knows how to get it done. He really does. And although the pair of them haven't really they haven't played the best of opponents, let's be real. Gigante and Tabilo for Taylor Fritz. I'd take the wins over Joao Fonseca and Jenson Brooksby just a little bit more. I know Fonseca was massively overhyped going into that, but we do know what he can do on his day. He could have played a lot better. And then Jenson Brooksby as well. I was really impressed with him. Really impressed with Jenson Brooksby. I think he may have beat Taylor Fritz, you know. I don't know. Jenson Brooksby just may have beat Taylor Fritz if he'd have played him instead of Tabilo, you know. That would have been very interesting. I'm not too sure. Look, I'm not sleeping on Taylor Fritz by any stretch of the imagination. You know me, I'm a Taylor Fritz fan. But I fucking love Jack Draper. You know I do. Is he better at the moment? Look, the rankings would suggest otherwise, but I feel like, you know, come December 2025, I feel like these rankings may look a hell of a lot different. I don't know about you. Jack Draper at 1.8. Oh my god. I'm dying to take it, you know. He'll definitely win a set. I would imagine he'd win a set. I thought Tsitsipas would win a set, but then again, Rune played a blinder. I could be wrong, folks, but I don't know. I don't imagine it's going to get any easier for Taylor Fritz. If Tabilo can do what he done against him in the first set, I imagine Jack Draper is more than capable of taking a set. Like, he beat him last time. What am I talking about? Taylor Fritz has never beat Jack Draper on the hard court. He's only played him once and he failed. That was indoors. Very close game. Probably is an over spot if you want to play it safe. I can't see it being quick. I can't. Wouldn't put it past either one of these to take a set. I suppose it comes down to this, you know, the question's quite simple, is it not? You know, is it Jack Draper squad or is it Team Taylor? That's what you're going to have to go off, innit? There's not a lot to split these two. Not a lot to split these two whatsoever. I know Taylor Fritz is more than capable of beating Jack Draper on his day. And I know that Draper is more than capable of beating Taylor Fritz, evidently. Even head to head, fairly even on the odds. I'm not going to say they play quite a similar game, but there is definitely similarities between the two. It's Jack Draper squad all day for me. All day. You know that. I won't hold it against you if you think Taylor Fritz is going to win this one. Or even if Taylor Fritz does win this one, so be it. It is what it is. May the best man win. That's all I can say. And before we go on to the next one, I will say this. As far as the outrights go, now El Chapo got beasted by Alcaraz and Tsitsipas got beat. Jack Draper is my last hope at a massive, massive cash bet at the end of this fucking tournament. So I feel like if he can get past Taylor Fritz, he could just very well go on to win this. I don't want to speak too soon, but we'll see. I might just go with Jack Draper on the money line. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But we'll crack on with the last one. Grigor Dimitrov and Carlos Alcaraz. Wow, would you look at that? Is that Carlos Alcaraz at a 1.11 favourite? Oh, you're joking, aren't you? Obviously, this is ridiculous, this, isn't it? That's so fucking disrespectful. It's so disrespectful to Dimitrov, I think. I mean, you may be sitting there going, no, Alcaraz absolutely destroys him. No. Dimitrov's beat him the last 2 times they've played. Head to head is 3-2. You know, it was 3-0 from 2022. Played in Paris, and then Madrid, and then Queens. Alcaraz won all 3. But then you come to the outdoor hard court in Shanghai 2023, Dimitrov. And the sets that he won as well, 6-2, 6-4. Sound. And then not only that, Miami last year. Do we all remember that? Miami last year, around this time, 6-2, 6-4 in the quarterfinals for Dimitrov. Smoked them. Absolutely smoked them. And he smoked Nuno Borges as well. And a lot of people thought he was going to get beat by Gael Monfils. And he didn't smoke him. He beat him. Just about. It was very, very close. It needed 2 tiebreakers to do it, but that's the level of Dimitrov that I know. That's the Dimitrov that I know. Pure dominance against Nuno Borges. Being able to play a blinder and hold your nerve in what is an absolute classic against Monfils. I am very, very, I'm not going to say I'm very impressed, but I'm just really happy. Really, really delighted. Like I said the other day, Dimitrov, one of the only guys at his age that the movement of Dimitrov's fantastic. He moves like a 20-year-old sometimes, he really does. It's a shame. It's just a shame he keeps picking up these odd injuries at this point. Alcaraz probably should beat him. I'm not going to say will, because you probably would have said that last time out and the time before that, and you'd have been sorely mistaken. Dimitrov at a 6.5 to 1 favourite underdog, 6 to 1 underdog, nearly 7 to 1 underdog. That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. That's going to be Dimitrov plus 5.5, if I'm correct. I think that's Dimitrov plus 5.5. I haven't got it up in front of me, but if it's 5.5, probably even buy a point, 6.5. 1.11 for him to win the game. Look, you know, we could have lived in a world, we could have woke up today in a world where El Chapo beat Alcaraz. El Chapo found some decent form as well, but, you know, we got that one done with relative ease, didn't he? Was that 6-2, 6-4, was it? Yeah, 6-2, 6-4. I think Dimitrov's going to give you a little bit more resistance than that. I really do. We seen that happening with El Chapo, didn't we? We knew it. It was either going to be really close or it was either going to be really quick. Alcaraz opted for the latter in that one. That spread, look, if it's 5.5, even buy a point if you want, just play it safe. 6.5 games with Dimitrov on the spread. That is disgusting that you'll be getting, like, you should be getting solid money for that. Solid price compared to the Alcaraz money line anyway. I don't know, food for thought. Alcaraz probably will win, but I don't see him absolutely blowing him out. I don't. I can't see it being a washout whatsoever. I'd be saying take Dimitrov plus the points. I really would. Yeah, fuck, even take him for a set. Plus money for Dimitrov for a set, probably. Oh, I don't know. Look, it's up to you. It is Alcaraz after all. And I do always say, with these big spreads, I always say take the dog plus the 5, plus the 6, whatever. Unless it's Alcaraz or Sinner, these usually are the exception. But in this spot, I'd say go with Dimitrov plus the points. He did play a long one against Monfils, I'll give him that. Will that have an effect? Probably. How much of an effect will that have? Will remain to be seen. But I wouldn't be surprised if Alcaraz gets this one done. After all, he is the favourite to take the title. We'll see, innit? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, folks. But until then, have yourself a good morning, yeah, have yourself a good day as well. You take care of yourself, take it easy, take care of one another as well. That's all at the minute, yeah. I don't know what I'm going for right now. I'm going to sort that and it'll be in the pinned comments. Sort that while I'm uploading it. So enjoy the games, folks. Let me know what you're going for. Get involved. Share with the group. Don't be shy. Enjoy the games, yeah. Let's go get that cash again today. Enjoy the tennis. See you tomorrow.